Hello everyone, welcome to White Talks, and today I want to be discussing something that I was thinking about earlier, and it is kind of this idea, right? So, well, what does this idea represent? So, first, kind of to understand what I want to talk about, I'm going to briefly go over some of the things that you're going to have to know about this, right? So, right here, I have infinite, I have the individual, then I have good and bad, right? So, your first question might be, what the fuck are you talking about? The infinite? The infinite? The fuck is this nigga talking about? And the infinite? The infinite? The infinite? All right, guys. So the infinite. So guys, calm the fuck down. All right. So what I mean by the infinite, right? So through my understanding of the universe, the way that I perceive it, there is something outside of our physical being, that being our bodies, right? You might call it the consciousness. Okay. So where does this consciousness come from? We, right now, scientifically, don't know, right? We don't know. Search it up. It's a fucking fact. We don't understand where our consciousness comes from. That little voice you hear in your head, the thing producing thoughts, that's not your brain. That's not your brain. It might be the prefrontal plexus. I don't know what the fuck that shit called. But funny enough, we haven't really been doing research towards understanding the consciousness, understanding how the mind thinks, right? Not how or why it thinks, how it thinks. You know, where does it? My theory is that consciousness is something that we can't see, obviously, right? But it's something that we tune ourselves to, almost like a radio signal. And you might think that's far fetched. I'm gonna tell you why it's not, though. It's not far fetched because just because we can't see it doesn't imply that it can't be real, right? So what do I mean by this? Well, a very good example would be a radio, right? We know it's connecting through signals, but we can't see those signals, right? What if our brains, well, what if our consciousness is the same way? And because our bodies fit the conditions for under us to tune into that frequency, right, into like the consciousness, the infinite, then we, I forgot what I was saying. Damn, I forgot what I was saying. But I'm gonna do my best to stay on topic. Hold up, I got you. We tune in, right, from the infinite. Where does this infinite come from? We don't know. I don't know. The infinite just is, and it just is and isn't at the same time. What do you mean it is and isn't at the same time? Well, think about this very moment right now. Do you know if it's real? You're probably gonna say no. In the future, if you find out through whatever method, us as a society, we come to an understanding that it is real, would of any of that mattered? I don't think so. So whether it exists or it doesn't matter. But it's there. And it's not bothering anybody. It's just think about it like free service or something, right? Wouldn't that be great? Free service. You don't gotta pay for this shit. Think about the infinite being like that. It's just that the infinite contains all potential and all things deemed impossible. How is it that that can exist and be real if that in itself is a paradox? Well, to see, well, see, the thing is that it's not a paradox because the infinite can. It's weird because like it's like the universe works in such a way where the things we perceive are just a reflection of what we are eternally, right? So the reason we see, you know, the reason you see me is because our collective consciousness, all of us believe in the paradigm that the physical is real, right? Right? We have stopped trying to be connected spiritually. In fact, for a couple of years, it was made fun of, and for rightfully so, right? There were some people that like kind of, in my opinion, dumbed it down and made it just really fucking stupid and goofy without context. But like, it happens. It happens. It happens. It happens. It happens. But don't. But like, what was I? What was I saying? I was trying to imply that in the pursuit of science, we have been trying to. What have we been trying to do with science? We've been trying to prove that existence is physical, it is material, and I think that's always going to be the case, because that's where we're looking. You know, we're only looking in one direction. We're only trying to prove the world existing by something we can observe, by something we can see. But in fact, I promise you, there's things outside of our control that can only exist with us not looking at it. And that's weird. It's supposed to be weird. It's not supposed to make sense. It's something beyond us. It's something that transcends us. It's something that is there. It has so much it's giving to everybody. And anybody can utilize it and use it. They just need to come to an understanding of how to think. And what do I mean by think? What do I mean by that? Because I'm not trying to sit here and tell y'all fucking stupid. Nah, that's not the thing. The thing is, from birth, we get assigned ways of thinking that we get through our parents, that we get through going through school, through talking to some of the adults at school. You know, you pick up kind of like paradigms. And I was talking about a paradigm earlier. What a paradigm is more like an idea that you repeat so much. It's like it's a habit that you take as a true, because believe it or not, our conscious and subconscious mind, if we don't consciously say, hey, that's not true, right? Or take the time to acknowledge something, then that becomes like the more dominant thing. So if you're constantly hearing, oh, can't buy that, we're poor. Oh, we can't buy that, we don't have money. Like, you're going to grow up thinking you don't have money. And you know what thinking about not having money does? Not always having less money. You feel me? It's like, damn. And it's like, people will be like, yeah, but I tried thinking about ways of making money and I still haven't done anything for myself. It's like, bro, like, you're trying to correct years of shit. Like, you get me? It's like, it's almost like trauma. That's why it's so powerful, and it sticks with us so much, because there's a lot of like emotion tied to it. But through, I feel like discussions like this, it should make you wonder, and it should make you like, like certain things make me feel X, Y, and Z. So I feel like it's our job. Well, not necessarily our job, but it's in our best interest to ourselves and to everybody else in this world that we just work through our problems. You know, I feel like we would tolerate less bullshit if we all actually knew our worth. And we're worth more than what these fucking companies, what these fucking religions and the fucking government, whatever the fuck they all think. Bro, fuck all of them. Not necessarily like the individual people who were just there like working. I'm talking about the people in power, bro. Because they ass know what they doing. They ass all bogus. But What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? Cause I'm just spreading. Yo, don't take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. My opinion, type B. All right, but science. I feel like I was thinking about this earlier. I even wrote it down on my notes. But I was thinking that spirituality should actually come before science. Come, so it should be first. You get me? And I kind of forgot my reasoning. I kind of had that thought, was having a lot of rapid thoughts, a lot of like ideas on how to support that, and they all faded away. That was a couple hours ago. So let me just try and think. The way I think I thought about it was very optimistically, right? I was like, hey, if the pursuit of science can get so deep an understanding about like atoms and going even deeper than that, or like whatever the fuck we're doing, bro, like, you know, figuring out that the whole universe is vibration. Guess what? Like, people who understood spirituality understood the universe. You get me? Like, a very good example of this is this book right here called The Emerald Tablet of Hermes Trismegistus, some shit. That man was goated, but he's spitting some real shit in here. It's just, it can be kind of confusing. First time going around, if you're going to pick up like occult knowledge, and all occult really means is secretive. So if you go around, like, if you this is your first book on secret knowledge, it might be kind of confusing, but it is definitely worth the read. It makes you open your mind a little bit more, and it makes you just more in flow with yourself, because in reality you are your universe. You know, you are your world. You know, everything exists differently for you, but the only difference is in degree of like emotion, of expression, of like, you know, it's various things. That's what makes us all individuals and unique. You know, that's the whole point. But I forgot something that I also wanted to say. But I feel like if we can get into that deep of an understanding in science, which is just the observation of the material world, right, of the physical world. Imagine where we could get to if we spent the same amount of like enthusiasm, right? Because it doesn't take hard work. It takes people who are willing to do it, who are willing to experiment, who are willing to like not put their lives behind it, because that's not how breakthroughs happen and shit like this. You know, people gotta be in tune. Like, that's how this shit's gonna work. It's gonna be harmonious. Like, and I don't mean harmonious in like that cringy TikTok way. If there's one of those, I don't know, I'm old. Or, but like, it could also be. All right, I was trying to think, but I completely forgot what the fuck I was talking about. But imagine if we could like spend more time trying to understand the spiritual side of the human, right? I feel like we could advance society even faster, because if we're all spiritual, it would be more like, we would be more compassionate, like we would be more empathetic towards people, and we would actually like, hey, take the time to consider the things that are happening around us, and then I promise you, people are going to start figuring out the truth, and there's no hiding from the truth anymore. You know, like, everything's in front of your face. If you don't see the things that are coming, then that's not completely your fault, but it is your fault slightly for not going out your way. But some people don't care. You know, I don't really care. I care enough to talk about it, to give my opinion on it right now. Unless things get like extremely dire, probably some, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But okay, I keep a lot, and this is annoying the shit out of me. Damn, that was a harsh hit. All right. But I don't know. Imagine if okay. Imagine the things we could do if we mastered our spirit. Nigga, oh shit, nigga, yo, key blast. Oh shit, Super Saiyan. How, why? They tell us in the anime, nigga. Come on, bitch, figure it out or something, nigga. I don't know. Wouldn't that be crazy? Let's say a couple people get together and they try and figure out and they try and they like and they document the they just start documenting everything about spirituality. I don't know how you would do that though, cause what the fuck, like, are you just gonna write when you? I don't know. I don't know. Or would you get? I don't know how the fuck would you? Uh all right, this is gonna sound crazy, but if we are one with the all, that would make us part of the all. That would make us part of the God, right? Or part of the infinite, or part of the universe, right? So, in theory, a part of something could grow. In our instance, right? Being able to comprehend at least the idea of being a god. I heard that some of the requirements were being able to warp reality, right? To fuck, I forgot the other ones. Nigga. I'm just talking, bro. I hope y'all are having a good day. I'm blasted. I'm fucking high. I love talking about shit like this, bro. I be sounding crazy sometimes. Sorry, guys. All right, sorry. Uh, yeah, that's all. That's all for today. I don't know. I don't know how to end this, so I'll just end it with I'll just end it with I don't know. I don't know what to end it with. So tell me what you dreamt about, and I'll write mine in the description if I dream tonight. All right. Goodbye, guys.